ABC SoCal has given thousands of young men and women the opportunity to grow and reach the American dream.
At its core, ABC is about business people who care about doing good work, doing it in a way that is above board and competitive. So it's really, I think, modeling for the rest of the industry.
The impact of being part of this association that it's had on my personal and professional life is something that really cannot be measured.
ABC expanded my horizons and allowed me to go out and compete with confidence.
Having somebody like ABC and SoCal is what helped me promote my company and grow to where we are today.
Oh, I think without ABC, I wouldn't be in the position that I am now.
It's more than jobs, right? It's a career, it's a lifestyle, it's creating an opportunity for people to provide for their family.
Getting involved with ABC has been a blessing in my life, and I know it can be in others.
When you go to some of these areas that don't have an ABC, don't have an apprenticeship program, you're dealing with uneducated electricians. So we've changed Southern California, which is providing a skilled, trained workforce.
Everything I gained was here through ABC. The education, the training, the motivation, the encouragement, and then the endless opportunities that were just brought to my attention.
And that's what I take from ABC, is that they have just improved the lives of so many young people and giving them so many opportunities that they wouldn't have had otherwise.
ABC as an association was formed back in the 50s, back in Maryland, by some contractors who really espoused the merit shop philosophy. They felt that it was important to protect their way of doing business, free enterprise, and the ability of people to succeed based upon their own merit.
Merit contractors, that is what we are all about. In the earlier years, fighting for freedom to be a free and open competition is what started ABC.
And then later, the craft training program came on board, the electricians, and then the apprenticeship.
Let's see, we started out, when I got involved, we were in Chino.
How can I say this politically correct? The Chino office was a dump.
Chino was this small, little commercial strip center.
We had the building where the offices were, then we had 2 classrooms across the alleyway that flooded every time it rained.
But I think the rent was probably good at the time.
At the same time, I think we were getting ready to start the training trust. Roger Walters, another electrical contractor back in the day, he and I started the electrical training program.
And at that time, ABC was struggling for instructors. So they asked for a couple of us to come in here, do the training, to be substitutes. They're never going to use you, don't worry about it. 2 weeks later, I was teaching 3 nights a week for about 14 years.
We had to set up labs out in the parking lot. People would have to bring stuff because we didn't have tools and equipment or materials.
And then we came to Anaheim, and I said, why aren't we buying a building? And we bought this building. Then we transferred and went to San Fernando.
Joining forces with LA Ventura was a big undertaking, and accomplishing that and just expanding our footprint for the chapter and being able to get more established into a very difficult county, it was a huge step in progress for the chapter as a whole.
Then somebody said we needed to go to the Inland Valley, so we built Riverside.
So just the growth and is just amazing. It's just tremendous.
Probably the 2 most influential leaders that I've worked with here would be Rod Wiederspan and then Doug Sawyer. Doug Sawyer was a fantastic educator. I learned so much from him.
His leadership in making sure that our training programs were the best, great instructors, quality classroom experiences, and then our labs. I mean, we have grown leaps and bounds, and so much of that is because of Doug Sawyer's leadership.
ABC SoCal has always been known as one of, if not the best, training chapters in all of ABC. That was not braggadocious, that was a fact. ABC SoCal was the only entity for their certification, got 0 deficiencies. That is unheard of when you talk about accreditation or reaccreditation.
A couple other good names, John Fielder, who was my mentor when I went to work for South Coast Electric. Dan Buckley, who was with Continental Plumbing, hard-working guy, and he got the plumbing program started as well.
Brian Parasol was the guy who was leading the charge in the electrical apprenticeship program and had gotten further than anyone else.
Kevin Garrett.
People in trust leadership like Rick Smiley, Dick Deischer, David Wolds.
Jim Kerr.
Lynn Holton from A.J. Kirkwood.
John Hamo, Glenn Rowden, Tom Rowden.
Frank Boker is another one that provided a lot of leadership for me.
Chris Lang is another guy from Los Angeles. He owned a company called Westway Electric. It was he and I who went out, formed a little nonprofit deal and went out and raised $500,000 to go up and down the state to fight for fair licensing.
I had a great person that virtually took me by my hand and walked me through becoming a board member. Her name was Sue McNeil.
Sue McNeil.
Sue McNeil.
Sue McNeil.
Sue McNeil.
Well, probably heard this. It's Sue McNeil.
She is the foundation of ABC SoCal.
Because she was always there, she was always pushing, she was making sure things get done, she was communicative, she ran a good office.
Susan McNeil was a visionary, looking not only at what the chapter was, what the chapter had, but what the chapter could be in the future.
No one can do anything in this industry by themselves. You have to be a coalition, a group, and a sizable group to get the attention of the government.
And to you, the members of Associated Builders and Contractors, I want to publicly say thank you for helping us preserve and strengthen the free enterprise system in these United States. The principles you stand and fight for form the very foundation of our economic system. These are productivity, cost effectiveness, on-time and on-budget completions, and most importantly, the right of every American to succeed on their own merits.
Going to Washington, D.C. every year when there were bills that were coming out that were challenging Merit Shop and pro others, we would go in and try to educate the senators and congresspeople as to why they should understand the Merit Shop and why they should promote that.
The biggest thing for me in my career and my life was I was asked to appear before Congress to talk about apprenticeship versus college. So all these members of Congress, they didn't care about college. They were really excited and energized about talking about apprenticeship, a free education where men and women can go to and become tradespeople for free.
We train apprentices. We pay for them to go through training. These people come out making money, not owing money.
And it just blew the members of Congress away. They're like, you can go to school for free, learn a trade. I have a kid. Where does my son apply?
I think the biggest challenge was I believe it was the Mana case, where we were being sued by the state and by a large local. That was a challenge that could have buried the Merit Shop contractors. But because of the law group that is associated with ABC, Tom Lutz and his group, and the fighting of the members, we prevailed and won.
The thing that always sticks out with me are the project labor agreements. Was just a huge, huge challenge, essentially pushing out Merit Shop. The battles that we fought with some of the cities that enacted only project labor agreements for any project within their city, and fighting that.
I've always said that one of the first checks we wrote as a company when we first started in business was to ABC, and the reason for that was so that we could network with fellow contractors to figure out what hassles, what problems they were having, how they were solving them, getting together as groups to figure out how to solve them.
It's really great to see Merit Shop contractors having a place to meet, share experiences, best practices, future goals,
The relationships has been the most valuable thing. The friendships, the camaraderie, the people that you can lean on and call on, and that they can relate to you on the same level that you're at, because they know where you're at and what you're dealing with.
I'll give you a personal one. In '09, Dick had a stroke. I couldn't talk for 6 months. After the stroke, I went up into the mountains, couldn't talk. The only person that knew where I was Sue McNeil. She needed somebody for the trust. So she called me and she says, will you come down here and do the meetings? I came down and did those meetings, and I had aphasia from the stroke. So the people on the trust put up with me not being able to talk. It helped me to talk. That's why I don't quit. I owe this organization. Does that answer your question?
ABC is not just here. It's not here. ABC is here. It's in your heart. It's living, breathing it.
You know, it's one thing to join ABC or to join an association, but it's another thing to be involved and get involved.
When the association comes to you, you need to say the word yes. Yes, I will take the next position. Yes, I will attend. Because that's your future. That's what makes you different from any other contractor out there.
I am really excited for the future of ABC today, and some things that we have in the works to make ABC SoCal better than it's ever been is really exciting.
You know, we have thousands of students in this big, huge building. I mean, it's just the growth and the value we've been providing to our members. It's awesome.
If I were to sum it up, it's life-changing, and my story is just like everybody else's that comes through here. It's a life-changing story.
The ability to advance. That's the greatest thing, is all you have to do is show that you care and your heart's in the right place. You can make this your career forever.
And it just makes you so proud when you walk through and you see employees that came to work for you in the first year apprenticeship program and is now a senior project manager. After 18 years, to see their lives change. And this has happened multiple times.
I've actually done interviews, and you get a resume that a little thicker than normal, and all of a sudden you're reading it, it's like he's really on the ball, and get to the last page and it's like, oh, I should have read the name. I know this guy, he graduated. He was in my class, but you know, what he's presented to me is a stellar resume that you can't turn down.
I have a grandson who went through the program, he graduated as an electrical apprentice, became a journeyman, and now he's fully employed and making a lot of money and doing very well.
I want to have this conversation when we celebrate our centennial, and to really understand where we've been and what we're doing and the impact that we're having in Southern California.
And if things are good now, I can just imagine where I'm going to be in 5 and 10 years, because the best is still yet to come.